This is Cybert signing into Kane's Wrath. On the map, Tiki Turmoil. So a big welcome to the freaky walrus man and the alien statues in the north. Spawning as the yellow Traveler 59. This is BurgerFlipper. That's the real name. And we're gonna take it as seriously as we take this guy in the bottom left-hand corner, playing as the Cyan GDI. It's BikeRushOwnz. Which I guess in context, BikeRushOwnz is just as silly of a name as BurgerFlipper, because BikeRushOwnz will not be rushing with bikes, but this is a lot of riflemen right out of the gate. Now we do have 5 buzzers up on the high ground, so it looks like BurgerFlipper is actually going to be going for the defensive tower. Now, BurgerFlipper, obviously a smurf, but who it is at the time of recording this, I do not know. Some people speculating it is Phoenix, aka Steve Nash. It might be Space, or it could be someone else indeed. BikeRushOwnz going to try and go for it, but this buzzer swarm is going to overwhelm his rifleman. That engineer has to turn back around, and he's going to try and go for it. He's got 2 riflemen left, and the buzzers have actually cut away from that engineer. So he is going to secure both of those tib spikes. Meanwhile, BurgerFlipper did get the far defensive tower. By the way, if you're watching this as it comes out, next week we will get to see a rematch between these two guys. I think the map is Tournament Dust Bowl. So we get to see these two guys play once again, but on a different map, and that'll be coming out in about a week. Buzzer's cleaning up all of the riflemen. And one last piece of housekeeping before we get on to just talking about the game. Big thanks to Bricky for the shout-out in his Kane's Wrath video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Big thanks to all the folks who have come over from Bricky's video and given my channel a chance. It's always great to see that even here in the year 2022, there are people who still like Kane's Wrath, and people who are just discovering Kane's Wrath for the first time, and they seem really into it. So it's super great to see that even, you know, as much as EA abandoned this game and didn't care about its post-release support, the community has filled in that role, and that even here in 2022, there are still more people finding the game, and they're excited about it. So big thanks to all of you guys for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy all the action. Double Engineer. Let's kind of resurface where we are. We had a barracks drop down there for Bike Rush. Looks like he did draft a couple of rockets, sticks them inside of the APCs. Just a little bit of keeping your opponent honest kind of a force. Maybe you catch an engineer, maybe you catch some forces, but I think this is to stop. He gets both defensive towers on the top. That's actually pretty good. This is more of an honest keeping force. You want to make sure that your opponent isn't skipping out on any core necessities. You know, it's not quite a scouting force like this buzzer over here on the left side of the map, these 2 buzzers actually. It's just a little bit of pressure from BikeRushOwnz that isn't expected to do anything, but maybe you get lucky and your opponent cut too many corners. Now this is Traveler 59, so these could be fast leg descents, but they're not. No stasis point, no stasis up to this point, and actually he gets a harvester. He's gonna have to trade out 1 APC, maybe 2 APCs for it, but it looks like the APCs will be able to back away, and look at this perfect rotation by BikeRushOwnz. This guy knows how to keep stuff alive for a little bit longer. The rocket squad's even going to be committing further into the territory, and actually it's going to be mine drops on the tib field. BikeRushOwnz trying to be as annoying as possible. BikeRushOwnz trying to cause as much havoc and as many problems as possible. These APCs are going to commit, and they might get a second harvester. It's not GG just yet, but 2 harvester kills with this little of a commitment is actually pretty significant. BikeRushOwnz just needs 1 volley from both of these rockets to be able to finish this off. No, he barely doesn't get it. The rockets don't impact, and it looks like an Orca Strike going to be coming in. Stasis Chamber does get spotted here, and finally that harvester is safe. It is secure, and the Orca Strike is sort of telegraphing what Bike Rush is doing. Not entirely, as he does have some hammerheads coming in. He's got some rockets as well, and I don't know that the Tier 3 at our Skrin Natural Expansion has been spotted. Orca Strike comes in, glances off that Harvester, and it looks like Blue Tiberium getting harvested by both players. We saw triple Watchtower get deployed by BikeRushOwnz, a seriously respectful move. There's the scan for BikeRush. Oh, perfect timing. He sees the Prodigy right as it spawns in, but he has seen, okay, my opponent doesn't have the second refinery on the natural expansion. That's a big disadvantage from where he would be normally. Going into the late game, this could be a big economic advantage for BikeRushOwnz, or he could try to capitalize on that. Now, we may be seeing Firehawks. No Firehawks just yet, it looks like. Once you see that Scrin Tier 3, it becomes a little bit of a game of whack-a-mole if you can get the Firehawks out in time. Prodigy has been pulled to the back. It feels like there might be a signal transmitter coming in, and we'll have to see if that Prodigy heads across the map quite quickly to capture a building of bike rushes and then sell it off. BurgerFlipper, he's found some damage, but he's more of found some a way to survive in this game. He's not actually found any damage per se. He's really found stability now. And it looks like he's about to find some damage with how he is gearing up his force in his base. But we'll see exactly what the Harvester gets teleported back. Was that a Blue Tiberium Harvester to save it from the APCs? I think it was. Great move there by BurgerFlipper. BikeRushOwnz preserving his vision in this area. He's going to use the Orca Strike to come in first. He's going to actually tag that plasma missile battery just a little bit there, and the APCs pull back from the front line. BikeRushOwnz needs to get a good vision on what exactly is going on, and you can see BurgerFlipper is expecting there to be Firehawks. Look at these plasma missile batteries dotting almost the entirety of his two bases. BikeRushOwnz most likely looking to take a third base at this point. Indeed, his MCV is on the way there right now. BurgerFlipper is a bit behind in that timing, and especially if you look at the amount of Tiberium each player has harvested. Prodigy still hanging out. An extremely passive game, all things considered, for BurgerFlipper. He is definitely on the defensive, but that is not all that surprising. It looks like the Prodigy jumped inside of that Eradicator Hexapod on the other side of the map, and BikeRushOwnz has not quite cleaned up both of these defensive towers just yet, but he is getting close. And yeah, it's going to be a double descent with a Prodigy inside of that Eradicator Hexapod, possibly another Prodigy on the way after this. So this is a maximum annoyance late game Traveler 59 army, and it's going to be most likely up to the Hammerheads. Ooh, it's actually a multi-MCV play, up to the Juggernauts, and up to the Marv to lock down this Scrin player. The MCV pivots. BurgerFlipper realizes that it's the double expand from BikeRushOwnz, and he doesn't necessarily need to take any refineries on this field. It's going to be up to the Marv, and it's not necessarily going to be the long-term play. BurgerFlipper pivots towards the north. He's heading for BikeRush's third base. First Gunwalkers do show up here. Sonic Emitter is here as well. One Corruptor might actually get caught a little bit out, and really those Corruptors are there for that healing ability on... Well, it's not here for anything now. On the Eradicator Hexapod, that's what he's supposed to be there for. Harvester gets picked off. A couple of mistakes by both players, and another Corruptor gets taken out by a Sonic Emitter. Not a big deal at all. Double Sonic Emitter behind the barracks. BikeRushOwnz feeling in control of this game, but this point with the MCV, with the Eradicator Hexapod here, this is where things can spiral out of control for BikeRushOwnz. Eradicator Hexapod going to be stepping forward. Immediate snipe on the Prodigy. Perfect move there by BikeRush, but what is BurgerFlipper going to be able to do? He's going to be able to take down the Hammerheads. He's got that Plasma Missile Battery and the Eradicator Hexapod coming forward. Two of the Sonic Emitters about to be falling at the same time as these tripods wearing through those defenses. The Juggernaut's too far, and the phase fires off, ready for the crush. The Eradicator Hexapod moving forward while the tripods deal with the back line. One tripod going down, two surviving for the current moment. Buzzers getting called in. They deal with the Zone Troopers for now, and the Juggernaut's going to get crushed. BikeRushOwnz just standing there and taking it like a noob. 3 Juggernauts going down to a slow-mo Eradicator Hexapod. 2 more Juggernauts. The mistakes are piling up for BikeRushOwnz, and his Juggernauts, almost all of his artillery completely eliminated. EMP Grenadiers get wiped off the face of the earth, and BurgerFlipper suddenly has found himself a place to stand. He has found himself a foothold here at the third base of BikeRushOwnz. The Eradicator Hexapod gets EMP'd, but there's nothing here to kill it. BikeRushOwnz tearing through the natural expansion of BurgerFlipper. It's going to be a base race, it looks like, and they might just sort of trade places and both survive on the other person's side of the map. Eradicator Hexapod with the repeat EMP is getting worn away by this single sonic emitter. There's hardly anything else here for BikeRushOwnz, just EMP Grenadiers repeatedly locking down that Eradicator Hexapod, and it will survive the fight. It will survive the night. The tech has been wiped out on the screen side of the map. There's the fire sale of almost everything. This is a strategic retreat, not the end of the game, and it is going to be a do-si-do, a flipperino, as these two guys trade places and continue the game. Those Juggernauts, a critical mistake for BikeRushOwnz. Those 5 Juggernauts getting crushed stopped his ability to do any real damage to the army and to the advance of BurgerFlipper. That Hexapod getting phased was a critical move for BurgerFlipper, but this is a double vet Marv. Let's not lose sight of that. This Marv single-handedly carving through almost the entirety of the base of BurgerFlipper, and that... Ooh, actually, 2 husks just got sniped there. I'm not sure what that was. It looked like BurgerFlipper killed those husks moments before his own engineer hopped inside of them, which I imagine was not the intent. Maybe he did it accidentally, or perhaps my eyes deceive me. BikeRushOwnz trying to pivot. Engineer, I assume, is for the avatar, the tripod husk in the north. We'll see if BikeRushOwnz actually makes good on that move. 3 Juggernauts claimed by BurgerFlipper. This Eradicator Hexapod, we saw those Corruptors going down somewhat carelessly earlier in this game. As a result, that Eradicator Hexapod has no mobile repair. It's going to have to stand next to the War Factory. It's going to have to hang out over there next for a good long while before it's really healed up. Single Gunwalker running through the base of BikeRushOwnz. This is actually a fully heroic Gunwalker, so he will survive for a good while, even against some basic base defenses. The Marv comes forward. There's the snipe of 1, 2 Juggernauts. The Hammerhead's on the north side, finding the only open spot for them to sneak in, but the Plasma Missile Battery will take them down. 2 Juggernauts barely going down. BikeRushOwnz trying to thin the herd. The EMP grenades do not land. The Eradicator Hexapod is still marching forward, and the tripods out of range of the base defenses, trying to EMP the Marv. They won't find the EMP, but that's a fully heroic Marv about to go down. These are engineers to jump inside of the tripods. Perfect snipe there by BikeRushOwnz to keep those tripods from getting captured, but it's not enough. The Eradicator Hexapod will get the kill, and that is a single vet Eradicator Hexapod, and the GG gets called. It looks like BurgerFlipper able to take the game as BikeRushOwnz loses a fully heroic Marv. Look at that income disparity between BurgerFlipper and BikeRush. BurgerFlipper pulling it out, this single unit victory, and BikeRushOwnz, if he had not been caught there at the end, that would have been his launching point for the resurgence, for the comeback. But he lost the Marv, and that was GG. Huge economic advantage for the entire game. Holds on to his main base the whole time, but BurgerFlipper gets the win in the end. Traveler 59, and not a bit of mind control did we see in that match. That'll do it for this game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. An insane amount of action and a little bit of a base trade to see us out on Tiki Turmoil. Thank you very much for watching, and this is Cybert signing out.